A society to have order and to protect its citizens must have rules. Rules or laws are created and agencies are formed to enforce the rules. In the United States, you are innocent until proven guilty. Our judicial system, our courts, have the task of determining guilt. When guilt is found, the courts mete out the consequences. If we follow the rules of our society, we may never have to face the bar of justice inside a criminal courtroom. Join us now as we see an actual Lake County court in session.
All rise. Lake County Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Donna F. Miller presiding. Please be seated. Court will come to order.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm Judge Miller. Could all of you please raise your right hands, everyone including visitors? Do each of you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and this you do under the pains and penalty of perjury? Okay, thank you. Put your hands down. Each of you has a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. When you get to the microphone, I need to know if you're under 18. I need to know if you're not a citizen of the United States. If you're not a citizen of the United States, pleading today could affect your immigration status. I need to know if you're on probation or parole. If you plead today, it could influence your probation or parole. If you plead today, you're giving up your right to have a trial and to have an attorney represent you at that trial. If I sentence you on a criminal case today, you have to go to room 105 and sign up for a payment plan unless you can afford to pay the whole thing today. Today we're being tape recorded and videotaped. This is the in custody stuff. All right, Mr. LaFleur, you are charged with a battery. Ms. Papula, what's the state's recommendation?
Your Honor, for Mr. LaFleur, there is no offer for him. We just ask that he has no contact with the victim.
And why isn't there?
This is one of those cases where both victims were charged in the offense. He and his brother were both charged. His brother is behind me in the courtroom today. They can't have any contact.
Okay, brother, could you come on up, please? You were charged also.
Yes, ma'am.
And your name is?
Roy Smith.
Roy Smith. Okay. Mr. Smith, is this one where the state is willing to change it to an affray since officers are alleging they're both equally involved? I actually set the bond at the low end. This is one, did that work all right? Who was going to live in the home and who wasn't?
Yeah, I was going to go stay with my friend in Orange County.
I said that you could only return to the home to get your clothes, but if you've been in jail the whole time...
Yeah, because I figured I didn't want no probation or nothing. I could have bonded out.
Okay.
But
Stop. All right, so you remained in the home.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor, we'd be willing to change it to an affray, just as part of the conditions, make it so that they have to take anger management.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Only the state can change charges. And the state is willing to change the original charge from a battery down to an affray. That saves you like $500 in your mandatory cost, something like that. No, it's about $500. It saves you about $500 in your mandatory cost. And so it's a really good deal. And it says 2 people fighting. Now, technically, an affray is 2 people fighting in public. And I think you all were still within the
Indoors.
So this is a compromise. You can both say not guilty, and you can each have a trial if you want a trial. If you want to play today, the state is willing to compromise, even though they feel it's a battery. They're willing to say it's an affray since you both allegedly participated. Let's start.
I'm not trying to press charges on anybody.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I'm done with it. You know, I mean, I'm not mad at them. I'm not.
Okay, let's start with Mr. Roy Eugene Smith.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Roy Eugene Smith, you've been charged with battering your brother? Mm-hmm. Is he your brother?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you've been charged with battering your brother. and the state is willing to reduce it to an affray, saying nobody was picking on anybody, it was an equal fight.
Okay.
Your position is, you think the charge should be dropped altogether?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
that's
Okay.
what we both.
Okay, so your position is, you don't want to pursue it against your brother,
Right.
and you think it was just a brother fight, should remain in the home and drop it.
Right.
Okay, Mr. Michael LaFleur, the state's willing to drop yours to an affray, which would save you around $500. And it means two people fighting equally, nobody jumping anybody else. And so that's something for you to consider. But at this point, you're saying you don't want to press charges against Mr. Smith, and you think it should be dropped altogether. All right, only the state can drop charges.
I apologize, Your Honor. Can you just repeat your question for me?
They are charged currently with battery. You said at this earlier you were willing to reduce it to an affray, which would save them a lot of money. Both of them are saying this. They were two brothers fighting in the privacy of their home, and they want this over with. They don't want any criminal charges. Neither wants criminal charges on the other.
I understand that, Your Honor. The state's position at this time is that we will not be willing to drop the case. We will be willing to change the charges from the battery to the affray, but at this time, the state would still proceed on the charge of affray.
What is the conditions of an affray?
4-hour anger management and the mandatory costs. But this would be on your record, and the mandatory costs for an affray start out at $273. If you can't pay it at one time, it gets closer to $400. But if it were to be left a battery, it's closer to $1,000, so.
Okay, well, what do we do about the no contact order? I mean, I'm
That would go
not
away.
mad at him. And,
That would go away.
Okay, so then, yeah, I'm
But
good
this
with
would be
that.
on your record as a criminal charge.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I'm good with it.
Okay, I would sentence you to 29 days Lake County Jail suspended. That means you wouldn't go to jail, you'd get out of jail today. But if you don't bring me proof of 4 hours of anger management by February 8th, something like that, February 8th, 2013, you go back to jail for 29 days. And when you get out of jail, you have to go to room 105 and sign up for the payment plan, and you have to go there today and sign up for the payment plan.
Okay, so, but the no contact order would be dismissed?
The no contact order will be gone as of my signing the piece of paper.
Okay, I'm good with that.
You're good with that?
Yeah, I kind of wish we wouldn't have had anything, though.
Well, it is what it is, and it will become what you make it. So let's hope the anger management, we didn't call you, you called us.
Exactly.
So,
It's understood.
okay? All right, Miss Stephanie, change the charge to on both of these to an affray. And 6 months to bring proof of 4 hours of anger management, and they may have nonviolent contact. There's one more catch, gentlemen. No new law violations, no new criminal charges over the next 6 months. So if you get charged again, this kicks in and you do the 29 days in jail. As of this moment, they may have contact as long as it's nonviolent. So you want to hug and kiss right now, or you'll wait till he gets out? No.
I'm not gonna take no lie. I love my brother.
I love my brother, too. We ain't
Yeah.
fought in 17 years. This is just something that happened,
Well,
you know?
may it never, ever happen again. What'd you say, it will?
It wasn't me, ma'am. That wasn't me.
You know them?
That's our oldest brother.
And you're just here to watch? Well, we'll take care of that as fast as we can. Alicia Pontori, please. Ms. Pontori, you are charged with disorderly intoxication. State, what's your recommendation?
The recommendation would be an adjudication of guilt, 29 days, Lake County Jail suspended. She must complete an alcohol evaluation and any recommended treatment, consume no alcohol, and no new crimes within 180 days.
My goodness gracious.
Yes, Your Honor, it was a bad night.
Okay.
But I'm really, I mean, I'm not, I do a lot downtown. I don't have an alcohol problem at all, but
Did you read the report from this day?
the what?
Did you read
Yes, I have it, and I'm humiliated with myself. My grandmother passed away, the last sibling of my family,
Sorry.
and it's been a rough couple months, but you know me from a few places, and
Well, this day was particularly
yes, it
bad.
was. And,
So are you going to accept the state's recommendation, or do you want to talk to an attorney?
I'll accept that. That's fine, Your Honor.
Okay, when you have it and you have a cash bond of $150.
Yes,
which-
that wasn't done by me, though. Does that person get that back?
No, it goes to your fine, and then you
Okay.
have to pay that person back.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, we'll get it to you as fast as we can. Ryan Caulfield, please. Caulfield. Mr. Caulfield, you are charged with driving while license suspended. Do you have a valid driver's license now?
I didn't go down and get it yet. I got it reinstated. I paid the fine and the reinstatement fee from Massachusetts because that's where it was suspended out of. I just haven't gotten.
Mr. Boone, he's from Massachusetts.
I'm from Boston.
So now that you've fixed your Massachusetts license, you can get a Florida license.
Correct.
When?
On
A
Friday.
week? A month?
I plan on going down this Friday and doing it. I actually tried doing it yesterday, but
Do you have your birth certificate?
yeah. I actually have a Florida ID because I needed the ID because the cop took my
You
Massachusetts.
have a birth certificate and you have your social security card?
Yes.
And you have 2 proofs of your Florida residence?
Correct. Yep.
And you have the money to pay?
On Friday, yes.
So if we put this off till next Wednesday, you can come in here with a valid license?
Yes. Well, I have to come back into the court.
We're going to see if we can do it at the traffic window. Ms. Papula, if he gets his valid Florida license, can he handle this at the traffic window?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Miss Stephanie, this is Ryan Caulfield on his criminal charge. We're going to change it to a civil. If he gets his valid driver's license, he can handle it at the traffic window, or else he has to be here in front of me next Wednesday. Okay, next we have a seatbelt ticket. Since I don't have your Massachusetts record and there's no seatbelt violation on your Florida record, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. If you enter a no contest plea for not wearing your seatbelt, I'll withhold a finding of guilt and I'll waive the fine. But if you get another, this one will go on your record and never be waived again.
Right.
A deal?
Deal.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have James Shield to the microphone. Thank you for dressing so respectfully for the court. Mr. Shield, you're charged with driving while license suspended. I said there will be no further delays. I said we'll change this to a civil if you came in with a valid license.
Yes, ma'am.
No luck?
What happened, basically, I found
No,
out.
that's a yes or a no. All right, then you still don't have a valid Florida license, so if you plead today, it would be to a driving while license suspended, and it would be a $200 fine. You'd have 6 months to pay. I need to tell you, if you have 3 of these in a 5-year period, Tallahassee takes your license for 5 years. Will this be 3 in a 5-year period?
No. It looks, no, because it's
Okay.
September, so. No, Your Honor.
Okay, then you would have 6 months to pay $200.
I had a question for you. Does this go on a criminal record?
This is a crime, yes.
The reason I was going to ask you was I found out basically from the DMV that what happened was, this was never supposed to happen. My employer was not sending this money to the state, to the child support office.
Okay,
Child support
you're,
is supposed to
let me interrupt. You are suspended for not paying a ticket in Orange County. You're suspended for not paying another ticket in Orange County. You're suspended for not paying a 3rd ticket in Orange County, in addition to being suspended for child support.
Last time I was here, you told me that the child support was the initiating factor and what caused me to be basically
Well,
pulled over. And,
you're also suspended for not paying traffic tickets.
you put me in touch with your friend that worked for the expressway, but there's nothing he could do because it's Orange County. It's not e-pass. It's not anything, and they don't do extensions for Orange County.
So it's not a toll road.
Well, it's a toll, but it's not a toll ticket. It's Orange County. I've been trying to figure it out for months. It's been
What was the charge?
running a toll. It's like $970 for 3 tolls.
Then it's either SunPass or ePass.
But SunPass has no record, ePass has no record. Orange County has. I called Orange County and they gave me the ticket citation number and everything.
No,
They're the ones telling me.
somehow you're misunderstanding something. So you may want to go to one of the law firms that specializes in handling this. But meanwhile, you're suspended for the child support and for not paying 3 tickets in Orange County. This happened March 16th, and your suspensions, okay, that's what I was saying. Your Orange County suspensions went in effect after that. So you, at the time you got stopped for this, you were only suspended for child support.
Because the child support
Okay.
office switched electronic.
And we were willing to work with you, and we put it off since March, since April anyway. But it is what it is. You haven't fixed it. That's the offer. You could say not guilty and have a jury trial if you wish.
Okay. Well, my question to you is basically, should I'm out of work because I'm being suspended license. I can't get to work, so I lost my job, and I can't afford an attorney. So will it still count? Can I still get an attorney if I don't have a job?
I can appoint the public defender. If you can't afford a private attorney, there'll be a $250 charge for the public defender.
Because the main thing is I did not know I was suspended when I got pulled over. I had no recollection. I have proof that I didn't know. So that's why
Okay,
I'm
they
saying-
sent you a
They did
letter.
not. They went electronic. That's why I didn't know. They went electronic and they stopped sending the D6s. This is what they explained to me a month ago when after I got out.
Tallahassee sent a letter on August 15th, 2011.
That wouldn't make sense if it was.
You got suspended for child support September 2011. A month before the suspension, they sent you a letter. So the letter was dated August 15th of last year.
So when I talked to the woman in child support basically about a week ago, and she told me that they switched exactly that month electronically and they stopped sending out letters, so I never got a D6 because of that.
Okay, Mr. Shield, I put it off.
I know, I understand.
So it's either you accept the offer that the state recommended, or you say not guilty. I can appoint the public defender. There'll be a $250 charge for the public defender.
I'm not guilty because I did not know that I was suspended, so.
All right, you'll need to go to the public defender's office. There'll be a $250.
I may be able to retain Mike Spivey or something. Or Mr.
Okay, it's Mike Graves
I'm sorry,
or John
John
Spivey.
I get them both mixed up because he helped me when I was a kid with some stuff, and
All right, so do you want,
I just don't. I might not need a public defender. I may be able to because I'm having an interview in about 2 hours that I may be able to.
so you do not want me to appoint the public
If
defender
I
at
need
this
to,
time?
can I later if I can't get?
All right, at this time, we're entering a not guilty on your behalf. We'll give you a new court date, and we'll see how that shakes out. It's a not guilty. You're not allowed to drive, as far as I can tell. You're still suspended. Is that correct? Deborah Sharp? Okay, Ms. Sharp, you are charged with no driver's license. You've never had one. State, what's your recommendation?
The recommendation, Your Honor, would be an adjudication of guilt, 29 days Lake County Jail suspended upon payment of a $200 fine, and no new crimes within 180 days.
I can't believe these are all the charges. Are there any others pending? She was involved in a crash at Circle K. We watched the video from the store video. I observed the defendant exit the driver's seat after the crash took place, where she was the driver. She struck a gas pump. Then she lied about being the driver. I informed her I watched the video footage. And then she admitted that she did drive, but she didn't have a license.
No, Your Honor, this is all that we have. for
Wow, you're very lucky this is all that was
It was
charged.
a misunderstanding. He asked me was I driving. I pulled the car up, so I didn't drive it. That was a misunderstanding. He asked me that I drove there. I was pulling the car up when I hit the gas pump.
And how is pulling the car up not the same as driving?
I know, but it was a misunderstanding between me and the officer.
Okay, are you accepting the state's recommendation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, why don't you have a driver's license?
I never had a car. I never drove. I have my permits now.
You have your learner's permit?
Yes. I was supposed to get my license Friday, but I didn't have the owner of the car there. I was scheduled to get him Friday, so I had to get him tomorrow.
All right, then we should never see you in here on a no driver's license charge again. All right, we'll get your paperwork in just a moment. Daniel Pearson. Mr. Pearson, you are charged with shoplifting. You're not on probation anymore, are you? State, this is Daniel Pearson. What's your recommendation?
Your Honor.
Oh, he was an employee at the time. Okay, no?
No, Your Honor.
Then how did he get $80 worth of scratch-off tickets and not pay for them?
By reaching behind the counter.
Oh, you have that on video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, offer from the state is?
Adjudication of guilt, 29 days, Lake County Jail suspended upon payment of a $200 fine. Complete the shoplifting class, the Goodwill employee class. He'd have to agree not to return to Cumberland Farms. Restitution in the amount of $80 and no new crimes within 180 days.
Yes? Well, I'm certainly glad there was a video so that this is all slam dunk here. We'll get your paperwork in just a moment. Stephen Norris. Stephen Norris, you are charged with driving while license suspended.
Yes, Your Honor.
And who's with you today?
My fiance.
All right, this is your second driving while license suspended within 5 years. And you had another one which someone reduced to a no valid driver's license. All right, state, what's your recommendation on Mr. Norris's case?
It would be an adjudication of guilt, 29 days, Lake County Jail, suspended upon payment of $300 in fines and no new crimes within 180 days.
Have you fixed the lights? They said something about they were flashing.
Yes, ma'am. I had a friend replace the switch.
Okay.
And the switch went bad.
Okay, well, that's the reason you were stopped. The reason you were suspended is because of 2 tickets you did not pay in Volusia County.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, so are you going to, did you read the offer already?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you going to accept the state's recommendation?
I would like to, can I speak to you, please?
I'm listening.
Okay, I'd like to plead not guilty. Under, my defense is under necessity of a medical necessity.
All right, the officer said, I observed the vehicle, the lights flashing, I conducted a traffic stop. The driver advised his license was suspended. You didn't, the officer doesn't mention anything about necessity.
Okay,
I woke him up
Yes?
about 3-something in the morning, 2-something in the morning, I don't know. I woke him up, I went to the bathroom, my shoulders were almost 400. I was out of needles. He was on his way to CVS to get my needles until I could go to Publix and get my prescription. The officer, he called my neighbor, who took me to the scene. They called an ambulance.
the officer called the ambulance. The
I brought
ambulance
all my
came.
insulin with me.
The ambulance came and
they
gave
me
her,
my shots.
I had the insulin with me to go get her needles.
Why did you need the insulin to get the needles?
Because, ma'am, you have to have a prescription
won't
now.
give you,
They won't just give you needles because of all
Why
the,
didn't you bring her with you so she could get the shot at
ma'am,
CVS?
she was out of it. She was almost 500. Her sugar,
So why would you leave her alone? Why wouldn't you take her with you?
my son is 14 years old and he was there
I
with
don't know,
her.
we didn't even think about that.
but I brought all the proof that she was prescribed 30.
And the officer
30
told us
syringes.
that we could have even called 911. They could have came to my house, but I didn't know.
We didn't know that. I mean, we don't have any type of, insurance or anything.
Okay, state?
Well, Your Honor, we've already read the offer. Are you asking if we're willing to?
You've heard what he said. Does that change anything? Which he and she said.
Right. At this time, no, it won't change anything. The case will still go forward. It is possible that maybe between now and a trial date that something will be worked out. But as of right now, we'd like to continue.
Okay, how will you see everything that's in the bag? Can you look at it now so she doesn't have to bring it
I
back?
don't think the information that's in her bag would be relevant. We could look into this.
It's just showing you, Your Honor, that I
Okay,
apologize.
I'm asking what the state needs, so you, okay, so she doesn't need to bring it back?
I don't believe so.
My doctor
Okay.
wrote my
Okay,
prescription.
stop talking, please.
You can look into the case.
Defendant is present, enters a not guilty plea, and you wanted the public defender? You want to handle it yourself?
Who's 9, is it?
A public defender,
There'll be
please.
a $250 for the public defender's office, a $250 charge. And you'll need to go there to make an appointment. Defendant says, she's your fiance?
Yes, ma'am.
Says, girlfriend needed insulin. All right, so I put that note in there, and we'll give you your new court date. All right, next we have Jacqueline Birch. All right, Jacqueline Birch, you are charged with driving while license suspended.
Yes, ma'am. The state attorney just informed me that it was driving while with
License.
knowledge.
Right.
And I did not know, ma'am, that it was suspended. The officer, when he...
Okay, stop talking for just a moment while
Yes,
I catch
ma'am.
up then.
Yes,
All right,
ma'am.
that you were suspended April 30th for child support.
Yes, ma'am.
They sent you a letter April 10th saying you'll be suspended on April 30th unless you get your child support caught up.
Yes, ma'am. And I have a problem. I'm bipolar, and I don't check my mailbox on a regular basis. Actually, I just went through. It's not all my fault. It's child support's fault too, because they've been backed up, because I have been making payments. If you remember, you probably don't remember me, but back in January 2nd, I seen you with the same charge. They put me for driving while suspended, and they put me in jail that time. Thank God the officer just wrote me a ticket to appear in court this time, because I was beside myself because I didn't know that they were suspended again.
Okay, so the charge is driving while license suspended. The state's willing to change it to without knowledge.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're asking, will I eliminate the fine?
Yes, ma'am, because I'm...
Stop. Okay, she has her valid license? Okay, so the state already offered her civil, so I could have saved like 10 minutes here if I'd understood that. If you enter a no contest plea to a civil driving while license suspended, I will withhold a finding of guilt on a civil driving while license suspended, and I will leave it at just the $50 cost of prosecution. No fine, but there is a $50 cost of prosecution that must be paid by February 8th, 2013, or your license gets suspended again.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay? So that saves you $150, something like that.
Thank you.
$160, you're right. $160. All right, we'll get it to you in just a moment.